Hey friends, I don't do this very often, but I thought since I'm trying a new product today that I might as well make a review because it's my first time using it. I haven't used it before. It's this foundation brush. I don't know how many of you already have this, but it's gone viral all over the internet. And as you can see, it's super dense, really soft, almost like a kabuki. And people are saying that it works better than a beauty blender, which I'm really skeptical about. So what I'm gonna do today, actually, I was gonna do this my whole face with this, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do half my face with the sponge and half with this brush, and you guys can tell me what you think. So the first thing I'm gonna do before I put my foundation on is just balance out redness on my face, and green is the opposite on the color wheel, so it actually really balances it out. It really does fade all the redness. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my beauty blender for that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put concealer on, because if you put concealer on after your, if you put your concealer on after you do your foundation, if your concealer doesn't match perfectly, you're gonna actually see, it's gonna be visible, like all the spots that you put your concealer on, it's gonna stand out. So I like to put it on first and then foundation after, and then touch up after that if I need to. The only place I don't put concealer on before is under my eyes. I actually do that after with a different type of concealer, more for like highlighting. Okay, so I have my foundation mixed. I don't know about you guys, but I have to mix 3 different foundations to get my color. It took me a long time to figure it out. It's all by Estee Lauder. It's the Double Wear and the Double Wear Light. So let's do this. Okay, so I am just gonna put the excess that I have on here with my finger, because that's what I mixed my foundation with. So I'm gonna make sure I get all of that on there, and then I'm just gonna, I guess, just dip this brush in to my foundation. So there's only like a little bit on there. Let's just see if a little bit goes a long way with this, because I know that the sponge does absorb. All right. Oh yeah, look, that's like already like really good coverage for like just barely anything on there. It feels really nice on the skin, like as it glides on. I feel like this is actually giving more coverage than the sponge does. Like the sponge soaks up some of the foundation, which is why I actually prefer using the sponge when it's dry. Like I'll wash it and then wait till it's dry before I use it. But like this is already, like with the sponge, I usually have to go over, like once it dries, like does it like do another layer, but already like this is really impressing me. Like I only had to dip once. Like I haven't had to dip it twice. And it's done literally the whole side of my face. And it's giving really good coverage. I don't see any brush strokes. I'm actually really surprised by that. It looks really smooth. Wow. You guys, I just did my nose, and I don't know how many of you have trouble with putting foundation on your nose. I feel like foundation never stays on my nose, and it almost always makes the pores on my nose look even bigger. I used this brush, and it seriously has gone on super smooth, covered all the redness, and it's like staying put, and like even the inner corners of my nose, the brush reached it, and like I can't see my pores at all. Okay guys, other side with the sponge as normal. What I usually do is I just dip the sponge into the foundation, and we're just gonna start blending it out. Okay, you guys are gonna have to help me out here, because honestly, now that I'm really looking at it, I'm not seeing a huge difference. The only thing I do notice is that the nose, I have more coverage on this side than I do the other side. Like I feel like the brush worked better for the nose. I'm just gonna finish my face. Oh, whoops, I just hit my lotion. I'm gonna finish my face, and then once everything's done, we can take another look. All right, guys. So makeup is done. Does one side look more flawless than the other? Do a close-up here. And I'm in natural light, so... You know, really, honestly, this is what I think. This is my honest review. I think that the sponge and this brush both do a great job, but I think both sides look great. But I think that if you want to waste less product and you want more coverage, this is the way to go. If you want like to have buildable coverage, like if you don't want to really like risk putting too much on, stick with the sponge. And then if you feel like you need more coverage, you can put another layer on. But the sponge does absorb product, whereas this one doesn't. So you know that you're using all of the product. Like there's literally no product left on this brush. So I would say this brush saves money because you're going to go through less product and you're going to use all of it. You're not going to get it soaked into the sponge. And if you want more coverage, like if you're having a really bad breakout day, this brush is the way to go. It also, I found that on my nose, it got into the creases and it really covered up the pores better than the sponge does. Like by going on my nose with the sponge, I feel like all it did was just, it didn't give me enough coverage on my nose. Both finishes are beautiful. They both do a really great job. But like I said, those are the pros and cons. So yeah. Thanks for watching.